Swords and sorcery have been themes welcomed by all ages into the family home, be it magic or something of the mystical variety, always leaving us in awe no matter the age or generation. Movies like Harry Potter, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and even current releases like Wicked are super popular today. Why? Magic. Simple as that. With swords, it's easy to understand why those are popular too. They have flashy motions, cool names, and can cut people, both literally and figuratively. Swords have the cool factor to them, and katanas, which are Japanese swords, are common among kids with understandable obsessions with swords. But which movies do these themes justice? What would be the best ones to watch? Here are 7 of the best sword and sorcery movies, exclusively for adults from the 1970s. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, 1973. Ooh, this one really tickled my sword-fighting itch. Taken from the classic Arabian Nights, the same collection of tales you get Aladdin from, Sinbad is a beloved character that's part of the childhoods of children all over the world, including my own. With this swashbuckling pirate, Sinbad's adventures and fights with all the creatures, including the 6-armed goddess, made this worth watching again and again and again. After one of his crewmen shoots down a bizarre flying monster, Sinbad, a sea captain, finds a golden amulet that was dropped by the creature. He examines the amulet and sees dreams of a man in black shouting his name, and visions of a woman with an eye tattooed on her palm. Sinbad's ship is driven to Arabia by a storm, where he meets Kura, a malevolent magician who demands the amulet. While fleeing from the crazed man, Sinbad encounters the cloaked Grand Vizier, who has another piece of the puzzle. After fleeing inside the city, their parts come together to create a nautical map that points to the Fountain of Destiny, which provides youth, a shield of darkness, and a crown of untold riches, on the vanished continent of Lemuria. Deciding to join the Vizier, Sinbad subsequently enlists the help of the woman he saw in his vision, Margiana, and rather reluctantly of a merchant's son named Harun. Kura, meanwhile, uses magic to age himself with each spell as he follows them. They encounter many threats along the way, including angry locals, a spy homunculus, an animated ship figurehead that takes their map, and captivity in the Oracle's cave. To scare the locals, Kura brings to life a statue of Kali with 6 arms, but Harun destroys it. When searching its remains, they find the final piece needed of the puzzle. When the locals attempt to sacrifice Margiana to a one-eyed centaur, Kura drops the first piece into the fountain, which restores his age. Then he drops the second piece, which grants him invisibility, hence the Shield of Darkness. To vanquish the protective griffin, he calls forth the centaur. After killing the centaur, Sinbad goes on to battle the unseen Kura. A crown emerges from the depths of the fountain when Sinbad drops the last piece into it, which he hands to the Vizier. The Vizier's disfigurement is healed once he puts it on. Sinbad responds that he likes his independence more when asked why he didn't accept the throne himself. The Lord of the Rings, 1978. Before you assume, no, this isn't the all-popular, well-known trilogy everyone knows so well. No, this one is an animated rendition of J.R.R. Tolkien's beloved books. This was also one of the few movies of its time where rotoscoping was used. Rotoscoping relates to the technique of shooting the scene in live action before tracing them on animation cells, meaning this was drawn on live film material. Hats off to Ralph Bakshi for pulling off this masterpiece of a movie. Rings of power are created in the Second Age of Middle-earth, 3 for elves, 7 for dwarves, and 9 for men. Princess Isildur claims the One Ring before losing it in the River Anduin, defeating the Dark Lord Sauron, who created it to rule them all. The creature Smeagol finds it from his kinsman, Deagle, and kills him for it, but his obsession with the ring turns him into a creature we now know as Gollum, and Bilbo Baggins finds it in Gollum's cave centuries later. On Bilbo's birthday, Gandalf tells him to leave his ring to his nephew Frodo. Reluctant but agreeing, he leaves for Rivendell. 17 years later, when Gandalf finally tells Frodo about the ring's perilous past, he and his friends Sam, Merry, and Pippin leave the Shire. They encounter Aragorn, who leads them toward Rivendell, while they're pursued by ringwraiths. The ringwraith leader stabs Frodo on the trip. Elrond cures Frodo at Rivendell, and Gandalf returns from his flight from the evil wizard Saruman. Together with 8 friends, Gandalf, Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, Gimli, Sam, Merry, and Pippin, Frodo offers to destroy the ring in Mordor. They travel to Lothlorien, where they encounter Queen Galadriel, and Moria, where Gandalf falls while fighting a Balrog. Sam is adamant about going with Boromir, but Frodo chooses to go on alone after he tries to grab the ring. Merry and Pippin, who subsequently flee into Fangorn Forest and and encounter Treebeard are captured by orcs in the meantime, where they reunite with a reborn Gandalf. Meanwhile, Frodo and Sam find Gollum stalking them to reclaim the ring. They capture him, but decide to use him for directions to Mount Doom. Gollum agrees, but plots to harm them and possibly kill them to regain his ring. Back at Helm's Deep, Gandalf came back with reinforcements, specifically the absent Riders of Rohan, and destroys the orc army, resulting in an overwhelming victory. Raffi! Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, 1977. Yet another Sinbad movie? I can't lie, his adventures are some of my favorites. With enemies both human and supernatural, effects both straightforward and stupidly funny, and enough laughs for you and your entire family, Sinbad goes on another adventure, braving the seas with his sword and angering yet another couple of deities in the process. Classic Sinbad. Prince Qasim is cursed by his evil mother Zenobia, turning him into a baboon, interrupting his coronation in the kingdom of Cherek. When Sinbad gets there, the city is under curfew, and he wants to marry Princess Farah, Qasim's sister. After being lured into a false sense of hospitality by Raffi, Zenobia's son, he learns that unless Qasim is cured in 200 days, translating to 7 moons, Raffi would be crowned Caliph. Sinbad, Farah, and the crew set off with the changed Qasim in search of Melanthius, a Greek alchemist who might be able to lift the curse. They're pursued by Zenobia and Raffi in a boat driven by a bronze automaton known as the Minotaur. Melanthius and his daughter Dione join their search on the island of Kaskar, leading them to Hyperborea, the home of the ancient Arimaspi. Zenobia, in order to spy on the crew, turns herself into a seagull. However, she gets apprehended and manages to get away with a partially altered seagull's foot, after making it to the frigid wastelands and escaping a big walrus onslaught. The group enters Hyperborea, where they make friends with Trog, a nice troglodyte. When Zenobia and Raffi arrive at the Arimaspi shrine first, they do damage to the building while breaking in. A frozen Smilodon is discovered by Sinbad's group within. Zenobia transforms her spirit into the Smilodon and attacks the gang after Raffi dies in a battle with Qasim. She kills Trog and Maruf before Sinbad kills her with the Minotaur's spear. As they flee, the shrine collapses, and they arrive back in Cherek in time for Qasim's coronation. As Sinbad and Farah share a kiss during the celebration, Zenobia's eyes loom menacingly on the television screen, ending the movie on an unsettling note. Wizards, 1977. Another one of Ralph's masterpieces, Wizards is a futuristic sci-fi animated film, where, ironically, science and technology have no place in their world. In fact, according to the protagonists, it's been outlawed years ago. It's a tale of 2 brothers, one a good leader who relies solely on magic, while the other found Nazi footage of Hitler's propaganda and secrets of science, tech, and war weapons. In today's society, no one would have thought there would be a world where a lack of science and technology would be considered futuristic or science fiction. Maybe that's why this is a thing of the past. After a nuclear holocaust, Earth is rebuilt with mutant humanity surviving elsewhere. Ancient magical creatures, trolls, fairies, elves, and dwarves, made a peaceful home in the picturesque realm of Montagar. The fairy queen Delia gave birth to 2 sons, the deformed Black Wolf and the good-natured Avatar. The brothers compete for leadership after the death of their mother, with Avatar winning and Black Wolf fleeing with promises of retaliation. 3 millennia later, Black Wolf is the ruler of Scorched, a sinister realm where he has rescued antiquated technology and commanded an army of malevolent animals. Black Wolf finds Nazi propaganda videos after unsuccessful attempts to take over Montagar, and he magically transforms them into psychological warfare to frighten and inspire his troops. When Black Wolf's robot, Necron 99, assassinates the president of Montagar, Avatar's tranquil life as Eleanor's magic tutor is upended. After reprogramming the robot and giving it the new name Peace, Avatar discovers Black Wolf's projector weapon. Eleanor, Peace, Avatar, and the elven warrior Weehawk set out to destroy it. Fairy encounters, perilous mountains, and a battle where Eleanor, who turns out to be under Black Wolf's control, kills Peace and joins the enemy are just a few of the difficulties they face on their quest. While there was a huge attack made by the elf army, Avatar and Weehawk sneak into Black Wolf's stronghold. Ironically, the same wizard who banned science and technology managed to kill Black Wolf, a wizard who was completely reliant on technology, with a single gunshot, a single bullet, and it was all over. Black Wolf is killed, the projector is destroyed, and the mutant army collapses. Weehawk returns to govern Montagar. Avatar and Eleanor leave to create their own kingdom elsewhere, and the world is once again at peace. Jabberwocky, 1977. Just like its namesake, I understood everything and nothing in the film. This was the most nonsensical, most ridiculous, most what the heck did I just watch kind of film you'll find anywhere. Jabberwocky even gives Monty Python a run for their money, with the amount of absurdity you can find in this movie. Honest to the Lord above though, if I had to watch this again, I would. A classic movie filled with sillies and sorcery. King Bruno, the Questionable's realm, is plagued by a terrifying monster during the Dark Ages, with a discarded potato from his unrequited love, Griselda Fishfinger, as an unintended keepsake. Young Dennis Cooper, just disinherited by his deceased father, departs his town to seek wealth in the capital city. Taking advantage of the frightened refugees who fill the city to overflowing, rich merchants pull a capitalist maneuver and start selling overpriced relief goods. Dennis finds himself unable to secure employment, as no craftsman wants to take him seriously in regard to his suggestions for better efficiency. In a desperate attempt to get rid of the monster, King Bruno sets up a jousting competition to choose a victor against it. In exchange, he promises his daughter's hand in marriage and in turn the opportunity to become a prince. After Dennis finds a tavern, he meets and becomes friends with Ethel, the squire of a knight called the Red Herring, and the illicit side piece of the tavern's wife. After a string of mishaps, which include escaping an irate pub manager and meeting the princess, who believes he is a disguised prince and takes his potato as a gift of affection, Dennis finds himself dressed as a nun and being hunted by religious fanatics. When the tournament gets too violent, the monarch resorts to a game of hide and seek. Red Herring wins, declared as the victor and sent into battle to fight the Jabberwocky. Ethel, not wanting to leave and wanting to continue his affair with the tavern owner's wife, forces Dennis to take his place as the unaware knight squire. The Black Knight is hired by the merchants to kill Red Herring in an attempt to prolong the situation. The monster emerges when Dennis is confronted by the Black Knight. The beast is resurrected and accidentally impales itself on Dennis's sword as he cowers after the Black Knight appears to kill it, but is knocked down a cliff. Dennis returns with the head of the monster and is rewarded with marriage to the princess and half the kingdom. Dennis has already been carried away to royal life and an unknown future when Griselda finally expresses interest in him. The Hobbit, 1977. Okay, this movie gave me the feels. Of course, this isn't the original, but the animated film. This movie was produced by a studio called Topcraft. While this had the essence of the original, it gave me a homey, cozy feeling, watching everyone band together toward a common goal. But if a random person came to my house asking me to be a burglar, I'd most probably slam the door in his face and call the police. When Gandalf the Wizard presents 13 dwarves under the leadership of Thorin Oakenshield, the cozy hobbit Bilbo Baggins is greeted by unexpected guests. In order to retake the Lonely Mountain and its riches from the dragon Smaug, they are looking for a 14th member. Bilbo is drawn into the adventure despite his reluctance. The dwarves are captured by trolls the team meets early in their adventure. Gandalf turns the trolls to stone by tricking them into remaining outside until dawn. They discover weapons, including a little sword for Bilbo in the troll's cave. A map displaying a hidden mountain entrance is revealed by Gandalf. The gang gets taken prisoner by goblins while traveling through the Misty Mountain. Bilbo becomes separated during their escape and finds a magical ring that makes him invisible. He almost escapes after running into the beast Gollum, its former owner. The dwarves are captured by enormous spiders as they continue their quest through Mirkwood Forest. The dwarves are imprisoned by wood elves after Bilbo uses his ring to save them. In barrels that float downriver to Lake Town, Bilbo assists them in their escape. Bilbo encounters Smaug at the Lonely Mountain after spotting a weak point in the dragon's armor. Bard the Bowman uses this expertise to kill Smaug when he attacks Lake Town in a fit of rage. Before passing away, Thorin, who has been badly wounded, makes amends with Bilbo. Bilbo brings home a small portion of the loot, but Gandalf suggests that his journey with the ring is only getting started. Ruslan and Ludmila, 1972. Ruslan and Ludmila brings sorcery to a classic knight loves princess story. The Russian film channels some serious Trojan horse meets Sleeping Beauty vibes, from the evil sorcerer kidnapping the princess to Ruslan fighting his rivals to save his beloved from said sorcerer. Their story warmed my heart personally, and even though I don't know a lick of Russian, I definitely love this two-part movie. Hero Ruslan marries Ludmila at the court of Prince Vladimir of Kiev, although three rivals, Rogdai, Farlaf, and Ratmir, disapprove of their union. In an unfortunate turn of events, however, Ludmila is kidnapped. When her father is informed of her kidnapping, he blames Ruslan for not protecting her, and declares her hand in marriage to whomever can save her from her captor. When Ruslan first meets the reclusive Finn, he tells him that their adversary is the sorcerer, Chernamor, and tells him his own tale of unfulfilled love for Naina, who turned into a vindictive witch when he rejected her. Ruslan continues his adventure by fighting and defeating adversary Rogdai. Ludmila, however, is still imprisoned in Chernomor's palace, where she finds some solace in learning about his invisibility helmet. Ruslan meets Chernomor's brother, a big disembodied head, who hands him a magical sword and says that the sorcerer's strength is in his beard. While Chernomor and Naina team up to set traps for Ruslan, he beats them and continues. Chernomor deceives Ludmila by posing as Ruslan and then lulls her into a magical slumber. Ruslan finally beats Chernomor by chopping off his beard. He eventually makes it to the palace, but he finds Ludmila asleep and tries to wake her to no avail. Farlaf, an innocent civilian and a coward who was duped by Naina, kills Ruslan when he's traveling home with the sleeping princess. Even though Ludmila is still asleep, Farlaf claims heroics by bringing her to Kiev. Finn offers Ruslan a ring to awaken Ludmila and uses magical water to bring him back to life. During a pitch and egg onslaught, Ruslan returns to Kiev, aids in securing victory, and uses the mystical ring to revive Ludmila. After Farlaf's betrayal is revealed, he is exiled, and Ruslan and Ludmila rejoice over their re-established union, with the helpless Chernomor serving as the court jester. Marvelous verdict. So there you have it, folks. 7 movies with either sorcery or swords, or sometimes even both. These make great watches, regardless of the moods, tones, or even setting. Personally speaking, my favorite is Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. What's yours? Let us know in the comments down below, and happy watching! If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone!